Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Before we start, I want to remind you that even though this video was recorded on macOS, the Visual Studio Code steps you need to follow are exactly the same on Microsoft Windows. Therefore, you can follow along with the video. Even your preferred platform to work on is Windows. In this video, we will install the Postman extension on Visual Studio Code so that you can send HTTP requests to an ASP.NET Core Web API. You can see the related video link below if you want to learn how to install Visual Studio Code on Mac. Open Visual Studio Code. Go to the Extensions tab on the left. Search for Postman, then click Install. When you see the Uninstall button active, this means that the installation of the extension is successful. If you have a Postman account, go ahead and sign in with your credentials. Otherwise, you can create one. When you click Create One, it will direct you to the official website of Postman. Fill in the form and create your account. I am going to use my existing Postman account to continue. The website will direct you back to Visual Studio Code. If something happens and you aren't directed to Visual Studio Code, you can use the authorization code to sign in within Visual Studio Code. After you sign in, click New HTTP Request on the left. Here on the list, you can see the request options you can use. I will demonstrate the GET, POST, PUT and DELETE request in this video. You need an API to send requests, so I will write a sample ASP.NET API for this demonstration. Go to the Explorer tab on the left to follow along and write the API with me. Click the Create.NET Project button. Select ASP.NET Core Web API from the list. Write a name for your project and hit Enter. Then click Show All Template Options. Click Configure for HTTPS, then select False for this option. Then disable OpenAPI support, since we don't need these options for this demonstration. We will use controllers, so go ahead and toggle Use Controllers to True. Finally, go ahead and select Create Project and hit Enter. Visual Studio Code creates the project for us. Go to the controllers on the left and click Weather Forecast Controller CS. This is an example controller created by Visual Studio Code. Comment out all the controllers or delete them so we can write them ourselves. First, we will write a sample HTTP GET method. Then you can write the POST method as you see here. This is the sample PUT method. And you can write the delete method as you see on the screen. Run your project. Visual Studio Code may ask you to select a debugger. We will select C#. Then you can select Launch Configuration. And then your project runs. It listens to requests on localhost 5050 as you can see here. Go back to Postman using the tab on the left. Enter the URL that your API listens to and its name. See that the GET option is selected. We will send the GET request as an example using the Postman extension. Click Send. As you can see, we get the expected response successfully. Let's send POST request as an example now. Then we get the expected response successfully. Go ahead and select the Put option and click Send to send the request. Then check the response for our request. Finally, we can send the delete request using the Postman extension. Select the delete option from the top left and click Send. We get our response successfully as well. I want to remind you that the method name you define doesn't matter, since the API catches the request by the annotation of the method above. Let's change the method names, run the project, and check it out. As you can see, changing the method name didn't change anything. You get your responses based on the annotation of the method. Let's go and revert back to the initial method names. Then name the annotations explicitly. Run the project again. This time, when you request GET, for example, you will get a 404 not found response. The reason behind this is that even though the annotation of the method is GET, we wrote a specific name in the annotation. The same thing will happen for all of the methods we are explicitly named the annotations. To get the response successfully, you need to write the same name you used in the annotation to the URL here. This time, you will get the expected response successfully. Let's try the same approach for all of the other methods we triggered as an example and see the results. Let's see what happens if we send, for example, a GET request to the delete method. Let's try another example and send a POST request to the put method. You will see the same status here as well. You will see a 405 method not allowed status here, since the method you wrote doesn't accept a different request than its annotation. You need to match your requests with the method's annotations. That's it for this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our video. And feel free to drop a comment if you have any questions.